Group it that way. Everything in the yard here we know.
I've found some variants as well.
They can do it group or whatever over time. See, you can do it and then think you have it, and then when you actually run them, find out you're off. And a lot of stuff hasn't had a chance to really just run. So that's kind of what Will and I are doing. We're taking this and just running it, running it, running it. And then we find all those little intricacies that you don't, and you just convert them and let them sit. Okay. We'll probably do that. Yeah. No, they cannot.
Give you guys a quick tour or quick look around. Well, thank you. I'll flip the camera here in just a moment too. Not all the lighting's on, but we do have staging over here. That's where you'll go out onto the main part of the layout. And on the walls, he's got memorabilia from all over the place. It's just a very small corner, plenty of car storage all the way around. They're working on the electrical on the layout today. There's 3 or 4 of us over here along with the layout owner. So quite a few things going on. They're trying to do a little cleanup on the layout. He likes his L&N memorabilia. Of course, Union Station there in Nashville.
How have you been? Actually, I just might pull you off the car so they wrangle that cabinet in here. So, okay, the intersection there. See where the carport template is?
We'll get outside here in just a minute and have a meet and greet with Mr. Nolan. He's agreed to come on camera today. And as you guys have questions too, let me know, and then what I'll do is I will be sending them over to him to have him answer for us. And here is his history board. A little bigger than what I can fit on the camera, but the layout started back in August of 1981. And he's actually got a picture up here I saw a little while ago. It actually says the birth date.
Yeah.
And these pictures here goes here shortly.
Wait, the other small. We can give it a try.
He's got pictures of some of his crew members that have been around for several years, helped him over the years.
We'll do the other smaller one another time. But I don't want to do his way. He's live streaming and stuff. But yeah, I don't want to do his live. But yeah, I can. Me and Rich and me and Ben could do that. We'll do that.
And we'll take a shot. I'm in the corner of his staging area. And his staging is scenic. We've got the port scene down through here. And on the very far corner down here, they'll be going into the layout, and then they'll come down through all this, do container shipments, staging, and then down through this wall you can kind of see he has a ton of car storage, and this is a lengthy little hallway here, and it's got all the staging in there. Oh, this is just the staging area. This isn't the layout. Here's some more pictures of more of the train crew. And the wonderful thing is he had his sister come up, and she actually took and did most of the backdrop paintings for him, including what's over in the staging and out on the layout. So those paintings are very near and dear to Nolan's heart. But here's some of the car storage shelves that he has. Yeah, Claude, it would definitely be awesome to have this much space and this much storage. And then on the back side, he still has more car storage. And then underneath the layout, this is waist high here. And he's planning on putting more car storage down to the floor. We'll go on down through here, and this is where most of the staging or the... This will take you out onto the layout. This is one of the other feeds. And then you can take the other line and they'll take you on around the corner down through here, and they'll take you into the port and freight terminals down through there, plus another route onto the layout. But he has all the tracks down through here that you can classify tracks with, and then as you need to take a car off the layout, you can take it off, put it in the into the shelving, and then bring that back in. And speaking of,
this is the rat hole. This is the area that people are going to fight over. They've already told me.
You want to go ahead and say hi to everyone?
No, I don't. I don't like people.
What? You're live.
I know I'm live.
Everybody, this is Nolan. This is the layout owner.
I'm a minister at Bell Buckle United Methodist Church, so yes, I love people.
He's really friendly, even though he acts like he's angry sometimes, but he's really not.
Gotta get over that. Yeah, hang on.
He's getting summoned out onto the layout. We'll meet up with him a couple different times. And as he comes back through, I will definitely let him know that from both of you guys. And we're going to go through his workshop, which is a working wood shop as well. And then into the main layout.
All right.
Wait a minute, is that the smiley nurse guy? Wait a minute, we do not want him to come.
Now, I do have a special guest
You
today.
have a label, smiling nurse guy. All right, hey, I gotta go.
Do you know
Talk to
Gary?
later. All right, bye.
Come on by.
We
No,
ha-
he was the one that commented on your layout tour.
Yeah.
We have another YouTuber with us today. This is, you want to introduce?
Goose and the Caboose Productions.
There you go. And once again, there's Nolan. He's trying to smack me with the board.
What broke, or what do you have that's stuck?
All right.
We'll come around. We'll go into the main part of the layout, guys.
They will.
Come into his layout room. You're greeted by 3 different things. First and foremost, he has this nice RC layout, or not RC, nice slot car layout.
If you want me to, at some point, I'll show him the F units with the lights
Okay.
and everything.
Yeah, that'll work. He's got this, and up underneath this is actually, he's planning on this actually lifting up, and there is staging up underneath here, and the staging is actually going to be for the Nashville area of his layout. And we'll take a quick look. I don't know how well it'll show without too much lighting, but it's actually going to be for his coaches and passenger freight, or passenger cars. They'll be coming in and out of Nashville. And then the next thing that greets you when you come into the room is, and Claude, if you're still in here, this reminds me of what your layout's going to be. The white elephant in the room, that is a helix, and he has part of it day lit, and the rest of it is able to get in from underneath the layout and work on it from the inside. So that is floor to ceiling helix. And every time I see your helix on your layout, Claude, I think of this one. So I'm assuming yours is going to turn out something similar to this. And here's a little bit more detail on his. It's a 4.5% grade. Circles 12.5 foot. 24-inch radius. And it climbs 30 inches. And then we'll show, he's got little sections where the train will come out and just make a quick appearance. And this bridge is actually in memory of his brother that has passed. So there's his plaque that he made up on that. And that's in memory. This is for the bridge right above us. And it's clear, it's tall enough that most people can actually go up underneath the arch and not have to worry about bumping their heads, but you got red flashing lights just for your clearance. And you got more tracks way up there as well. And this is actually dedicated to one of the guys that helped out tremendously on this one. Tell us who all dove into it. But then we come over into the Nashville area. And they're still doing a lot of track work and cleaning, rearranging some stuff, doing some more track work along with electrical. But this will be your Nashville passenger area. And right over here, you'll see the racetrack. And like I said, your passenger trains will go up underneath there for being able to stage up underneath it. You'll come through the wall here and into the old section of the layout. And this was actually from 1981. Worked on this for a long time. And then we've got a train coming through in the tunnel here. Take a minute to get over here. I see the headlight coming this way, so should be in just a second. There we go. Wasn't sure if we'd have much running today, but we've got a few things that are running around the layout, testing some electrical connections. On this side and interact with the train a little bit, and won't cross over, but we will be able to have it going through. Alright, we'll go around this section of the layout and come out to one of the first holes that comes out of the staging in this back corner. If you've been keeping up with Goose and a Caboose productions on this layout, you'll notice that the yard actually has some yard tracks now. Section here is from 1981 and through the 80s and 90s. Doing pretty good there. And then we'll have over on this side, you'll come down, and this is where we'll be coming out of staging. That'll link you right back into the back side of staging around the corner down there. And then we have the connection that comes in behind the town scene here, which I'll give you guys a look at that real quick. Most of these buildings are lit with indoor and outdoor lighting. You've got the two tracks that come in behind the town here, and that'll connect into the rest of the layout. Yeah, we were talking about that when I came over today, Claude, and I was telling them about the old Tyco sets that used to have the slot car piece that actually had the HO track that ran through the slot car track. I've looked on eBay and we can still get them, so it'd be a neat feature to add. Now here is some other bridge works that have been done. And I'll show you in a minute. I've got a bridge that I've worked on. As you come down through here, you got several lines. Bridges. He's got the wood one here, the wood trestle. It was in, and I think he's got the placard for it on the other side for when the railroad actually came through and installed those. But on the fascia of the layout, he's actually got details about each little scene and when certain things went in that scene. I'm going to go down through here. And they're actually doing a lift out section for this piece here where these tracks will connect, and it'll have a kill switch in them. That way none of the engines decide to try to jump the gap when you take the lift out section out. And here's another section, or another piece for you, Claude, of the helix. There's no mistaking where the helix is anywhere in the room, and this is a very large HO layout. Hello, humanity. Alright, so I'd promised you guys that I was going to show you some of my scenery work. This isn't my basement, humanity. I'm actually in Fayetteville, Tennessee today at a friend of mine's layout that I've been working on for several years. But done up from floor to the scenery edge. And this is actually what Fall Creek Falls looks like from the other side of the cliff. And I'll take you a little closer and show you the actual waterfall that a lot of people go and visit here in Tennessee. When I first walked into this layout, the very first thing that visited tons of times, and then right above it, this was all foam. It's a friend of mine's layout. He invites people in to work on it. Right now they're redoing most of the electrical on it and getting it to the point where they're actually starting to finally run some trains. He's got lots of friends that's helped him out over the years, and this started in 1981. Started not in this home or in this building, but the section of layout behind me, or at the beginning of the layout tour, actually was from 1981. So when I first came over and I met Nolan, like I said, he had the picture, and he took me on the layout tour, and he asked me the very first time I was ever here what I really liked doing, and I told him that I really liked scenery work. And he asked me where I would like to start doing some scenery work, because there was a lot of scenery to be done. And being Fall Creek Falls was one of my favorite places in Tennessee to go, I told him I wanted to start right here. When he went in and he was asking about it, he said that, he asked me, he said, "Are you sure about that?" And I said, yes. So he had me do just a little 2-foot section, because this was his focal point when you first enter through this doorway into the layout room. It was going to be a focal point of his. So he wanted to make sure that the person that did it knew what they were doing. And I'd like to think that I do know how to do some scenery work, and that I was able to blend it in pretty well, because he wanted to make it look like it was above Fall Creek Falls, even though when you go to the falls it doesn't go up any higher, much higher than what the falls does. But I did my best to try to blend the rock work into what you'll see at Fall Creek Falls in the state park there. And I spent many afternoons and evenings over here doing this scene and getting it to work in. He's got bikers that are in it. Well, thank you there, Claude. He decided that what he wanted to do is he wanted to start adding some bikers in. So after we pretty much got it wrapped up, he went in and he started putting these bikers in. He's got them pretty much all over. And then on the other side, we'll go through, and we had to pretty much transition from a lot of the gray rock into the brownish rocks. And then we're going to go up, and he has one winter scene that is hid from everything. And if I can get up here. So we have the Fall Creek Falls section, and it comes around the front side, and we'll go into a steel mill section. And you have the bridge that we were talking about when we first come into the room, that's in memory of his brother. And then when it goes through the tunnels here, it takes a time lapse into another season, and he has a snow scene hid in the ridge back here. And he's got some skiers and stuff. And it goes on and continues around underneath over there. And it pops back out, and you'll be back out into summer time. So you come from the Fall Creek Falls over here, and then you'll come through and you'll have the steel mill. And then we have another mountain to come through. And then this is where we pick up on scenery again. Did a lot of the scenery work around here. I didn't do the rock work. He had already had it pretty much carved in, but put some of the greenery in, put the ballast in, and then he worked on doing, him and a couple other people worked on doing the drive-in theater here. The town scene. He's got quite a few things to do over here. And then he named this summit over here after his wife for the diner theater and world-class shopping. And this is all in the little town scene coming around the peninsula. The road that he had me build that actually travels up the ridge here, and I'll point that out here in a few minutes. That took me a couple months to complete. But then on the other side of the peninsula here, we have some more staging area, lower and upper.
Over here?
No, behind you.
Oh.
Right next to you. See it kind of straight.
We'll go back up the steps here.
So,
Now the air freshener won't stay there, of course. But there is a road that goes down to the radio tower at the end of the peninsula.
We can lift it high enough to clear
And
this
comes
thing.
back into the
You can take the lift
summertime.
right down here, you get it up, and that'll pass it through.
This is a person's home. Here, or this trestle, will go around and it'll go on this side. It'll keep coming down,
one down there.
and then it'll go.
Doors off.
It'll go down to the corner here,
Better idea which one you're doing.
and then you'll go into a town, and we'll go over on that side here shortly and take a look at it. But as you can tell, this is a
Gary, don't forget the dock work on the backside either.
yeah. I started over there. Now you do transition on the bottom down here into like a fall area, and you'll go fall for a little bit on the layout. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. And through sections of the layout, you'll have steps that are built in.
Shoot, I was hoping you get to me there.
So we're still in the fall section. He's got these trees that are in the fall section. And then he's also got, up on the top, he's got a track that cuts off right here. And this track will go in and down to a logging line. Or you can continue on the back side and go all the way around the corner into town.
I have to climb this way and go out the other door.
Yeah, we had a tree building over here a couple afternoons and built several of the trees for the layout, and some of the fall trees were built during those sessions as well. And he actually had a competition to see who could build more trees. I will get that information for you, Claude. Keep the questions coming for sure. If I can answer them, I'll answer them like Humanities a few minutes ago. If it was a person's home or commercial space, it's a person's home. All right. And if you can see the tag there, Gary Walters Fall. This was one of 2 waterfall scenes that I actually put into the layout. If I can turn the camera here, hold on guys, I'm going to try to do this without doing too fast. Hopefully the camera will take it too. But that is probably about 4, I'd say probably about 3 to 4 foot waterfall scene. We're going to come back.
My hands are a lot better than they used to be.
Okay. Now, a little while ago, I was talking about the bridge scenes, and the oldest bridge was going to be 1890. The last one that they put in is over on this placard over here, which is 1970, and it's the tall steel viaduct. And we have still some work to do on them. I've got the bridge complete, and we went ahead and weathered it up. He wanted it heavily rusted, so I've got one of the bridge supports there. It's a micro engineering kit. Go ahead and put that back over here. He's got the other section there. And then of course we've got the bridge pieces to go across as well and span it. He's got those actually, I guess the barge is bringing it in today. But there's the pieces to go and span the bridge. We've got the bridge footers and everything to put on it. Got some more work to do there. I built the lighthouse. That was a kit that he had, a brass kit. And I actually put that in. It's got the working light up above it. It's got the barge that'll come in, car float, all of it. That way we can do some freight transfers there. And the freight will come in out of a tunnel right over there. Then we're going to come over into one. A lot of this will light up too. He doesn't have the lights on at the moment, but we've got this that'll come down through here. Got some stuff that they've been moving around and getting prepped. We also have the upper top. They have, this is the top line that comes down from the bridge up top. Got the oil refinery. It's going to have a feed mill. I think the feed mill is actually coming down to the lower side. Now the Superior Paper Mill, that's a building that I actually built for him. And then I did the weathering on it, built that at the house, and then brought it back down here after working on it for a couple of months. That's one of the buildings of the complex. We also have the other one, which is over on the other side of the corner here. It actually started off smaller, and then as he got more space, and they have been working pretty good on this layout for a good while. The very first thing we built was we actually came in and did the rotary dump for it. And then the paper mill, he's going to have it sitting in here. And they're reworking some of the kinks out of the track, so hopefully that'll come out pretty good.
Oh man, that's like right at 21.
And then I'll show you
20 and a half.
it's actually already DCC, and they're putting in districts, and then that way, or not districts, but blocks, so that we can actually start the beginnings of putting signaling in, and then start actually having operation sessions. So hopefully we'll be having operations hopefully within a year's time. A lot of work's been done so far. They've got a lot of the kinks already worked out of the electrical. I will double check on that one, Humanity. I'm not sure right offhand. Give me just a moment and I can find that out. But this was another waterfall that I actually did for Mr. Nolan. It's got a little bit better lighting on this side for this one to show. I spent probably a month of Mondays working on this. Did the cascade effect off the bottom. Now, any of you that are familiar with my layout, I am planning on putting a waterfall scene in. I'm planning on it being pretty massive. And with it being massive, I'm hoping to do in the bench work, kind of like a little dip like this, or even a little bit more. And I may expand further on both sides, doing rock work on each side, and kind of blending it up into the terrain of the table. But when you walk into Big G's Railroad, that will be a scene similar, but the waterfall itself will actually be much more massive than that. And I'm planning on having 3 of those going around the waterfall and then having the river kind of come in underneath. So this was my my third attempt at doing waterfall scenes, and I just fell in love with the way they come together and absolutely come back around. I think the 2 questions that I didn't know was, one, the overall layout size, DCC, NCE controllers, and he still got some of the, this is from the 1981 section of the layout. He still has some of the old slide switches, but most of this is actually is going to be obsolete before too long, and will actually be operated from the DCC control. Yeah, if you've been around for a while, everybody should know those pretty well. Excuse me there. And then we'll go and find Mr. Nolan, and we'll see if we can't get him to answer any other questions that you guys have. Hello. There he is.
Yep.
Mr. Nolan, the fans have a question for you.
What?
They want to know a little history, and they want to know a little history, and they also want to know your overall layout space.
Oh, I used to keep that in my head, but I do anymore.
Well, with the railroad this big, I can see why that would elude you a little bit.
The building is 68 by 30, and the half room here, the shop, which is a professional shop, it doesn't look like it now, is 15 by 30, and the other side of the crew lounge is 15 by 30.
So the overall out
So
there
if you take
is
68 less 30, it's 58 feet train room, 58 by 30.
58 by 30
And
on
like
the
everybody
footage.
says, it wasn't enough. Now, when you show them this side, I want them to think of Bruce Chubb.
Bruce Chubb?
Bruce Chubb, C-H-U-B-B.
Okay.
And he now has 10 different trains feeding his railroad. It's quite elaborate. It's
Now they just came up with another question.
turn those lights off, please. They're heat.
They just came up with another question for you, so I'm gonna let you answer this one.
Okay.
And I need you to be as honest as you can be.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ready for this one.
Oh, sure.
Claude, this question's for you. It's one of the guys watching.
Yeah.
He has a helix that he is impressed with your helix.
Yeah, it's one of the first ones you'll see was made out of foam.
Well, he's been building his, and he's doing his out of plaster cloth.
Plaster cloth. Okay.
Yeah, plaster and plaster cloth. And he's doing, correct me if I'm wrong, you're doing the HON3, right? He's doing a narrow gauge or dual gauge, I think it is. And lots of fans are asking.
Well, no, I have lots of hobbies. In fact, I'm one of the few people you'll meet. I prayed, Lord, take away some of my interests, take away some of my hobbies. Because I play golf, I walk 1 to 2 hours a day. I need to get back to the piano. I'm a professional photographer, done several great photographs of people. Train is, I was describing this to somebody, and I left out my train, and I started, oh yeah, there's my train. I keep living.
And tell you how many hours I've spent on his layout. Uh-oh, he's going, I reminded him, he's going to look.
Well,
Or he's going to go and show you some stuff.
yeah, I'm not keeping up with this as well as I used to, but for years, I realized that in May of 2014, I did zero work on the train.
Uh-oh.
I said, that's got to change or I'll never see this thing finished. So those are all the hours. Now, some of that's walking, because walking is a part of my train. You guys are going to love it that the grass in the yard and the cutting of the grass is all part of the train, because you've got to keep your wife or significant other happy. You got to keep the grass. So all that goes on a calendar.
Now, guys, if you're wanting a layout like his, take that to heart. Keep the wife happy.
And you've got to keep working on it. Years ago, even though I was a minister, and at the end of the day, my son only thinks I work an hour a week. But you other people know. And so I eventually got it up to 15 minutes a day. And I have a sermon to get you out of your excuses for reading the Bible. And I've been invited many places to give a talk on what's your excuse for not building your layout. You'll have to ask how many of those people that are listening are couch trained people. Now, it's important to read. It's important to plan. You be sure and show them my drawing, which took 10 years.
Okay.
And I can peel off each paper and take it in the shop and build it.
There you go.
So that took 10 years. Railroads, transmission lines, the lights overhead, it's all there. In fact, I even got a frame that's going to go in when I'm totally finished having to refer to the drawing.
Now, the drawing that he's talking about, fellas, there is the drawing of his railroad.
At some point, I realized I couldn't afford the other 20 feet. So these are the lights that are attached to the fast clock. we're working on a system. We have, it's in the magazines, we have the small computer that drives all these lights. And I've got somebody that's a PhD physicist working on the unit that's going to combine the lights with the fast clock. So that when 12 midnight comes, everything will be dark. Even phones carry fast clocks now, iPhones. But we went ahead and got a hard copy that's 4 o'clocks on the wall. No secondhand. And if you came over and you could play for 2 hours, we would run a 12 to 1, which is a little bit fast. People are starting to go slower than that. But at least we could do a full day, sun up to sundown. And with having this light system, you actually feel like your trains are, it elongates. Bruce Chubb has done that. He's the first one that did the fast walk. So anyway, you get a railroad calendar, and you sit down for a little bit and make a list of all the things you hope to get done that day. Now this is April of 19. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 14 things done. Got 16 things done. And I also got some yard work done in there. I can look back and see that. But I even have my opening the vents around the house. December 1, they're closed. Usually April 1, or if it's still cold, May 1, they're open. But, you know, that just gets stuff done. I like to see stuff being done. Union Station, the track, we're still not done. That was in 2014, so it's 6 years. But it's on here. I know that it'll get done. Some stuff, I'm doing gulch sidewalks around the buildings now. And that's a project I want to do. So this, I just give a number like planting 20 trees is 20 points. So one point per tree. So on this system here, I still have days like December of 2019. I only got 40 points. The year before I got 100. Back up here for January, I had 110 points. And that is things that we're doing. I put a point on everything because even in business, they want you to, what is it? You have to do so much on your floor.
Right.
What's that called?
You're talking about like the much sales?
Sales quota?
Yeah, sales quota.
Sales quota. Well, if you really want to get your layout done and still have fun for golf and whatever else you like to do, I watch a lot of football, college and pro.
Monday nights, we usually watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah, exactly. So it just motivates you to get stuff done. I have no problem with motivation.
Well, I've got one person that just asked, or actually he put a comment. It's great seeing someone still using.
With my open heart surgery and my diabetes, I have to take care of myself. I walk every day, like I said. God is good. He's given all of us a good body. Even Gary and I still have a few pounds to lose, which is so important.
Surgery weight, I'm getting it off, guys. Walking a mile or two a day.
Well, let me give you 2 things that'll help you. And y'all, after you see this video, you need to write this down. My surgical nurse, who is beautiful, in Nashville, she was talking to me just before the surgery, and I still remember this. She said for every pound you're overweight, the heart has to pump 4 miles of arteries, capillaries, and veins, which dying in their early 30s from heart attacks. For every pound you're overweight, that's 4 miles of arteries, veins that the heart has to pump, that God did not design. Of pressure on your spine. If any of you gals or guys are having trouble out there with back pain, guess what? It's the weight out front. You got to get rid of it if you're going to live.
This is true. Well, I think some people have got some questions for you, Mr. Nolan, so I'm going to go ahead and we've got somebody showing off an engine here. Is this your personal?
It's one of Nolan's.
One of Nolan's?
One of my 49 that work on the layout.
But I don't like the sound it makes when you shake it.
Well,
So-
you're not supposed to take it off the layout.
Well,
and
I did
shake
have
it.
somebody ask a little while ago what your rolling stock count is. You
49, 49 with digital and sound, and about 5 or 6 more to go.
You know what you got freight car wise?
No, I don't, because they're all with the quality control and postal meter. Probably 500, and then once we get close to operation, I'll start buying a lot more to bring it up to whatever it needs to be.
Well, I tell you what, everybody is loving the live chat today, so
Well, I need to show you one thing
All right.
that just shows you how you can afford this hobby.
that'll work. I'm sure everybody will be dying for that one.
This is You could clean this cabinet a little bit.
Air hose.
No, you did not show the air hose. Did you show them that this is woodworking, logging?
I did not show them that.
And here's
but-
the
Okay. Cabinet here. One of the guys also liked your comment about.
This is a 4.5 foot boat, and the guy was trying to sell it for $30 at the TCA Train Collectors Association show in Nashville 3 years ago. And I was looking for one. He had the coal loaders, and he was dumping coal in here. For me, I wanted to stack up. I also wanted to know what they look like. So one of my church people actually worked in 2nd Avenue in Nashville. And I asked her if she had an evergreen prospectus. You can invest in evergreen containers. And I needed to know what the dimensions of a ship were. And evergreen is one of the big ones. And this is in Japanese, so I can't read it. All the routes. Oh, this is just fabulous. But there's a container. And there's no way in our play world that we can stack them up that high or that wide. So I think I've done it once. We can do about 6. This is play value for the kids to be able to stack them up or load them onto the railroad cars or put them over here on the wall for storage. So this guy was selling it for 30, and there's one in the Walters catalog that's 1.5 feet longer. Which is more like a container ship, 1.5 feet longer, $400. I did not have $400. Probably you don't either. So when I went by at the last of the show, there it comes over here.
Got some weight to
It's
it.
got some weight to it.
I think it's built out of concrete.
Yeah, I bought it for $20. So right there, I'm $380 ahead on one item. This is how I've been able to, as a TCA member, go see somebody that's selling out, which is sad. It's going to happen to all of us. I don't plan to take my trains to heaven because I'll be doing a lot more important stuff. Unless God puts me in the train room. And then if he does, oh boy. But of course, Back to the Future, the trains didn't need tracks. One of the last ones.
Oh, yeah.
The train came along in the air. But it was still a train. If people ever come and see all my pictures that I've collected, it's just a history of, in my world, all the trains that feed into the Union Station in Nashville. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, did you show them this picture here?
You?
Okay, this is one of my most proudest moments. We had this set up at Monterey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I told her as I came up and saw, I said, freeze! And I said, you need to just wipe this part of it out and bring its snout back to here. And I asked people, what do you see? 95% of people see either our Cocker Spaniel. The average Cocker lives to be 12. Ours lived to be 18, so it was in quite a few appointments. But most people say that's the never-ending, it's the dragon, the flying dragon in the never-ending story, which is a children's story, but adults love it too. So I've got a great crew that is helping me in places where I made some mistakes, not critical, but just they're making the layout better. It's going to operate wonderfully. The L&N had a car float in Anniston, Alabama, so we're going to have one, and we've got a car float, and this is the apron. And right here is a crawl through for the kids, and there's a bigger one down here, and they've got to bring that car float with 12 cars on it and not drop it. So it's just a little causeway for the kids to. And I have some bigger kids that come in here and play around, you know. So it's just a lot of fun.
Want to show them what you got right here?
Oh yeah, bookcase, and it covers all the way from. Well, I've got lots of different magazines, but Model Railroader from 2004 all the way up to 2020, and I'm probably going to have to think about building one more.
So yeah, all Model Railroader, classic Ford trains,
O-gauge,
and
then I stopped carrying a lot. Of course, I do trains for the real thing.
but pretty much anything you'd want to take a look at, he's pretty much got his catalog system here.
Up in the Tracy City, there was a coal loader, and I've got the real coal. We are working all over this layout, so the whole thing is not as clean as I would like.
And a special thank you from me for letting me come up and do the live tour with you.
Well, it's a great hobby. It's a great hobby.
That it is. Well, everybody, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the tour here. I want to say thank you to Nolan for having us out.
Come sometime and see it.
For sure. If you're ever in the Tennessee area, reach out to me, and I'll try to get in touch with Nolan and see if we can't come over and take a look at his layout. Get him to give you a personal tour. He loves talking about his railroad, which it's been around since 1981. So,
and I like talking about Jesus more.
This is true. All right, guys, y'all have a good one, and I will see you on the next update. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah, that pair of red and white.